What's up, guys? Dirty Mike with Dirty Mike Crypto back with another interview. Today, we have the pleasure of having Kevin, the CEO of BUSD Buffet, on with us today. Kevin, you there?
Yeah, here.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us on the show, and we'll have a good time. You ready to get started?
Absolutely.
All right, we'll just start with a basic one here. So, how is BUSD Buffet different than all the other reflection and reward tokens out there?
I think the big thing that sets us apart is we set out to solve a very specific problem that we saw with reward tokens. And that is that they are solely dependent upon volume from buying and selling. So when buying and selling slows down, the rewards take a hit.
Right.
We want to find a way to basically keep rewards going, even if we hit periods of low volume. So we came up with a system. We call it the BBFT kitchen, or the B kit. And we have a 8% tax on our buys and sells. And that 8% tax goes into a fund. And we use that to buy tokens from other projects. And we hold those. And then once a week, we sell a percentage of those, use that to perform our buyback and burn, and also to generate BUSD rewards that get sent back out to all of our holders.
I'll tell you what, that's an absolutely great idea, because the funny part is my next question was, most reflection tokens struggle with maintaining volume after the initial hype. How do you plan on solving that? So that was great. You led into it and you actually answered it for me. But that kind of brought me up with a new question. When you're buying, new tokens and selling them, is it the same ones every week? Do you guys vote on them, or how do you come up with what tokens you're going to buy as part of that 8%?
Yeah, we have a ranking system. We call it the BRR. It's our BBFT rewards rating. It takes information from public APIs, CoinGecko and the PCS APIs, and run it through a formula that we came up with, and it ranks the tokens that we have in there. Then what we do is every 2 weeks, we take the top tokens in each category, and those are what we add into the B kit for the buying and selling for the next 2 weeks. So every 2 weeks, as performance varies between the tokens, we change up our strategy in the B kit to make sure we're keeping the high performing tokens in there, and anything that does not make that list ends up coming out of the B kit. So yeah, it's kind of a way to keep up with market trends and make sure the tokens that we have in the B kit are performing at max.
I'll tell you what, that's such a great idea, because that really seems to be the problem with reflection tokens. They have that initial hype, pre-launch, and then at launch, and then all of a sudden, there's that lull period where no utilities have really come out yet, and volume seems to completely die off. So it sounds like you guys have really thought about that in advance, and kind of saw what's happening with some of the other reflection tokens before you launched, and kind of set out to solve that problem right away.
Yeah, definitely. I say to us, it was important to do a couple of things. One was have utility ready at launch. It was actually functioning prior to our launch. We used some of our private sale to fund the initial seed into the B kit, and that was performing buys even before we went to PCS, even before the pre-sale even. So it was important to us to have that going. We also had staking available. It was opened up 2 hours after we launched to PCS. So that was important to us, just to see, or for people to see that we had something to offer right from the get-go. It wasn't a promise of having something in a couple months or showing them a roadmap that might not be attainable.
That's awesome. Are you staking over at Brew Labs?
Yeah, those guys are awesome.
Yeah, they really are. They make it so easy. Maverick and those guys are absolutely awesome. I've been trying to get him on for an interview. He's been so busy, but I'm going to get him eventually. So if you're listening, Maverick, I'm coming for you. Yeah, but those guys, they make it so easy to stake, and just nothing complicated there, and it's awesome. You guys doing like the normal 30-day, 90-day?
No, our staking pool is completely dynamic. You can come and go anytime you want.
Really?
Yep.
And are there any fees associated with that? Like if you
the only fee. Sorry, go ahead.
Like if you Okay, so it's not a set amount. You can just stake for whatever you want. And is there a tax if, like, when you do, well, withdraw?
Yeah, the only fee aside from gas fees, the only charge fee is going to be withdrawal fee
Yeah,
of 0.5%,
right.
and that's just on the total amount that you have staked. Other than that, it's just you're free to come and go as you please, earn some interest on your BBFT, and call it good.
That's sweet. I definitely like that. That's pretty unique. So what was your motivation to found, BUSD Buffet? Like, what was that aha moment to where you were like, you know what, I'm moving forward with it, I'm doing it.
Um, it started. Gosh, it's kind of a long story, so bear with me.
Take your time.
With crypto, I was using it to supplement my income.
Right.
I was just doing like day trading with certain tokens, and that just wasn't really working for me. I found reward tokens and reflection tokens, and I was like, let's give this a go. The passive income is what I'm looking for. So I got into that, and again, I started realizing pretty quickly that you had to keep getting into projects early on,
Right.
because
The
like
buy
you were
sell
saying
tax
before,
kills you.
yeah, you get in, it pumps, and then if you're either waiting on utility or the utility is just not uh, what it was hyped to be, and then the volume goes down, and you got to jump to another token and repeat that cycle. So the purpose behind this was like, there's got to be a way to keep this thing rolling, to make sure there are rewards every week going forward. And Gavin and I we met way back in EGC Discord server, and we started bouncing ideas off each other. It kind of went quiet for about a month there, but then it just like I woke up after having a dream. It really was as corny as that, but I was like, this is how this could work. I laid it all on him. We talked about it for a few days and just went forward with it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I always love to hear. I always ask that question because I like hearing the origin stories of every token, and what was that moment that we're like, you know what, we're doing this. We're I'm not sitting on the sidelines anymore. I want to do it. So that's cool.
Yeah.
We'll lighten it up a little bit here. So why don't you tell us a passion or a hobby of yours outside of DeFi and crypto?
Biggest one lately, actually for the past few years, has been powerlifting. Got into that in my late 30s, actually.
Really?
Been having fun. Oh yeah, yeah. It's I didn't see myself doing that when I was younger, but found a used power rack on Craigslist for like $200. And at this point now, I've got a home gym set up. I've got the full rack. I've got about 600 pounds of Olympic weights, 3 bars. I've got all the standard plates you could hope for, and yeah.
Or have you been doing any competitions or anything, or what was that first competition like?
Yeah, I do. I probably do one or two a year when time permits. It's really exciting. Everybody's real supportive. It really does remind me of the crypto community right now. How supportive
Yeah.
everybody is for other projects. It's with Unite DeFi and Crypto Positive. Everybody's coming together and like, we can all do this. There's no reason one of us has to make it while the rest of us suffer. Let's get everybody going.
Yeah.
So it's been great.
Yeah, that Unite DeFi is pretty awesome, isn't it?
Yeah. Chris over at NBC, he's awesome.
Yeah, he's been on the show before, and he's such a great dude too, and he's just so great for the community. What they're trying to do there is really just amazing to bring everybody together, and because crypto can be cold. In the past that's what it was. Everybody was out for themselves, and it was very cold. And to kind of get everybody working together and communicating and talking is absolutely awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm actually I'm do a shameless plug here. I'm actually going to be the guest influencer 3 weeks from now on it, so I'm pretty excited.
Nice.
Pretty excited to get called up to the big leagues. I've been waiting on the sidelines, waiting to get on that. So you guys all always do a great job whenever you guys are on there.
Well, and those roundtables, like, it's such a great idea because like it's just candid conversation. It's not like rehearsed,
not
or
like
there's no
this,
script. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually putting together some people to actually start a little bit of something kind of similar to that myself. So you're going to be more than welcome to come on that when I get that up and rolling.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Awesome. So let me ask you this one: what's been the biggest thing so far with BUSD Buffet that the launch and just what's going on so far that you didn't expect or plan for? Like, what's something that's came up you were like, you know what, I didn't think that was going to happen, or couldn't plan for.
Um, Honestly, it was the launch itself.
Right.
We spent all of our time. We spent a lot of time planning out the launch because it seems to be the norm that launches just don't go to plan. There's always something that hangs someone up.
Right.
Um, but like I said, our launch happened, and it was probably this is the running joke, but the most boring launch ever.
Hey,
But everything just worked. Yeah, so that's one thing. Like, my turn for shameless plug. We have a program coming up. We're calling it our token incubation program, and what we want to do is find projects that are looking to launch, or even somebody who just has an idea, and walk them through the process of developing the token, writing the contract, building your community, and taking it all the way through launch. Because we think that having a launch that just everything works and it's boring should be the norm. That should be the bar. If something goes beyond that, like you have a big pump after whatever, that's additional hype you can do. But we think the minimum should be just the launch goes as planned, and there are no weird hiccups. You're not having to contact King Sal or the launchpad maybe. You're not looking at the contract because it won't move liquidity. Like, what the heck? So we're trying to make that a little easier for new projects coming up.
Well, I'll tell you what's funny. I don't know if you're familiar with the project DGEM. Do you know those guys at all?
By name.
Yeah, though I had their guy on there, Jewel Master, and he's so smart with this kind of stuff, and they have a launch pad and everything, and he told me that the biggest thing that would surprise me in the crypto industry is that 90% of tokens that launch don't test their contract on the mainnet before they launch.
Really?
Yes, and he was like,
Wow.
that's the dirty secret of crypto. I couldn't believe it, like that you would get that far, you do all that planning and do everything, and you went, test it, and that's where a lot of the issues he says, happens with
Mm-hmm.
launches. So that blew my mind. But it kind of makes sense because, like you said, so many projects aren't boring at launch and have so many issues, and I guess that's part of it.
That's fair.
It's crazy. So, why don't you tell everybody what's your background before BUSD Buffet?
I've been working in IT for about, 26 years now.
So early
Everything
days of the
from,
internet.
yeah, back in 1996, I got my first job working in actually someone's basement, building a web application in Cold Fusion with a Microsoft SQL database.
Oh man.
Yeah, yeah. And then from there, it's just been a smattering of things. I've done hardware support. I've been doing, support tickets, writing software. Pretty much you name it, I've had some hand in doing it along the way.
Well, that's good. All those different things that you did, kind of prepared you for this moment right now that, what you're doing. So, it was definitely really
Mhm.
beneficial to you, it sounds like.
Yeah, definitely. And it's, we spend enough years doing something, you make a ton of mistakes. And if
Right.
you're smart enough to learn from them, it helps you a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, you got 20 plus years to make mistakes and then put it all together.
Yep.
That's great. That's what I always say to my wife. I'm like, man, I wish I would have had it together the way I do now, like with my ideas and just, the way I want to execute things, 15, 20 years ago. But that's the experience that you get and the mistakes that you make along the way to get you to that point.
Yep, exactly.
And there's people to have together from, they're 18, 20, 25. They're the ones who are the millionaires early because they get it figured out a lot earlier than we do, than
Yep.
most people.
All right.
Uh, so this is a little bit more serious of a question, and I like asking this question to every one of my guests because I don't feel like there's really a set answer to it, but I always kind of like hearing what everybody thinks can be done. So, what do you think can be done to help clean up the number of scam projects and rug pulls that are on the BSC network right now?
I think what can be done is kind of like what Wi-Fi was doing right now with their launchpad and with their exchange. They're doing a deep dive into projects and looking at their backgrounds and kind of getting to know teams before they put them out there for the public. that's like I say with the B tip that we're coming with, we want to do the same thing. We want to make sure we have conversations with these teams. And I think that's really part of it, because like right now, KYC, that's fine. You take a picture of your ID and you read a script onto a video. That's fine and dandy. But it's actually sitting down and having conversations and trying to feel out the team and build a relationship with them. I think that's where it needs to be. And so like I say, with what Y5 is doing, things like that should be the norm going forward. I think it's going to help a ton.
Well, I got to congratulate you. You have given me the best answer so far to that question, because that's what I always think. I think that a lot of the liability needs to be on the launch pad, to where,
Yeah.
they're vetting the projects before, like you said, before they, launch them, instead of just, putting through anybody who pays the money and, make it susceptible to being a scam project or a rug pull. I feel like, a lot of launch pads, don't do their diligence, and there's no accountability to them. What do they care? They got paid, they got their money, to
Mhm.
where, they need to be doing that. So I agree with you 1000% with that one. That was a great answer.
And honestly, like I say, with there's a lot of projects coming out. Like H4G is their launch pad they're working on. Reflex is their launch pad. I'm looking forward to that, because they're all trying to fix this problem.
Yes.
And with multiple launch pads out there, the competition is going to breed perfection almost. There'll be accountability, and that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm kind of sour on Pink Sale, to be honest with you, because yeah, I was involved with a pre-sale not that long ago, and Telegram's sometimes the absolute worst. I gotta tell you, it seems like every time, every time there's a product, like a token launching that day, bots are putting
Mhm.
up fake Telegram groups to get you to go to, a fake Pink Sale to send your BNB to a scam. And
Yep.
this one project that I was in, it almost got me. I woke up late for the pink sale. I just clicked on the first one that I saw. I went to put my wallet in, and I looked at the address at the top, and it was pink sale with two eyes on it. And I'm like, wait a second here. And then, so
Yep.
then I went into my Discord and I went onto the right one and got the right address for pink sale. But yeah, these people and bots are just copying the pink sales of projects. And this particular one I was in, when I looked at it, it had 720 BNB collected within the first hour, just of a scam, just going to some random person who the bot created it to send them tokens. It blew my mind, and it made me so angry.
Well, that's something else they're doing too with these, like the fake websites like that. They copy Pixel and they'll
Yeah,
put in some ridiculous number, and this sort of look like it's like 750 out of 800, and then
right.
somebody's like, "Holy crap!" And
I
they can
got to get
FOMO
in
into
real
that
quick. Yeah,
Pixel. Yeah, and then people don't take the time to look at the URL because they're like, "I'm going to miss out."
right.
Um, it's it's terrible.
It pisses me off so much that people,
Yeah.
and then you see in the real groups, they're like, oh my god, I just sent my money to this one, was that the fake one? And then they're out there 2 BNB, and to a lot of people that's a lot of money.
Yep. Yep. And speaking of on that topic there with Discord and Telegram, our Telegram was announcements only for the first like 2 or 3 weeks. We we were Discord only because I just like it better. It's easy to organize
It is.
information. But we waited until we had a fairly decent community built up, and then we opened up Telegram, because at that point the community was already somewhat self-policing, and that made the Telegram much more useful as a platform.
Yeah, that's definitely a good way to do it. Well, this kind of leads me into the next question. Do you think regulation is good for the crypto industry, and why?
Uh, yeah,
It's a tough
yes and
one.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends. Like regulation is one thing, but again, I think some of that regulation that's needed is going to take care of itself by some of the projects that are coming up.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't think that we need. But well, one, especially with DeFi, it's going to be really hard to try and
I don't think they
like
can.
legislate that at all.
Yeah.
No, there's really no way.
No.
I'm not going to say there's no way, but it's going to be incredibly difficult. Um, so I think that it really is going to come down to the community policing itself. And fortunately, there are enough good people out there with some solid projects coming up that we're going to be able to do that. I think a year from now, the instances of scams and rug pulls, honeypots, and all that, they won't be nearly as pervasive as they are right now.
Yeah, especially since over 90% of projects fail within the first year anyway, or are a scam. That you weed out the crap projects, and then now all of a sudden, all the good projects are uniting together, and then they're putting out more quality projects because they're vetting them and making sure they're legit right
Hmm.
away. So that's definitely a good solution to it for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so this one is a little bit different of a question. This is going to make you think a little bit, but I'm from Philly originally. I'm a foodie. I love food, so I'm going to ask you this. What dinner would you choose as your last meal?
My last, um, I would say brisket with garlic mashed potatoes and southern style corn.
Man, that sounds so good. I'm on my cholesterol is too high, my bad cholesterol, and I just got put on a diet and I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I'm used to just, eating whatever I want, and I love eating meat, and I haven't had red meat in
Yeah.
2 weeks now, and I'm dying.
Yeah, you get to a certain age, you gotta start watching that stuff. I've been eating a lot more chicken lately, but yeah, if I'm going, I want brisket. I will eat the entire thing.
Oh my god. I don't know if you know I don't know if you know Green Life Energy, John, or any of those guys over there, but I had him on a couple weeks ago, and he told me he won haggis. He's Scottish. He's from Scotland over there, and he wanted haggis for his last meal, and we had a good laugh on that one. Like that, you want that as your last meal? I think if I eat that, that would be my last meal. Sorry, John, I love you, but
Yeah, that's something I've never tried. I wouldn't be opposed to it though. Like, it's try to teach your kids. You got to try everything at least once before you can judge it.
yeah, I think I had read something. It's not even legal in the United States because of what it is and like the way it's cooked. It's like got to be cooked inside a sheep's stomach or something like that. It's just completely just
Yeah.
ridiculous.
I
Oh man,
mean, we're the country of the turducken, so who are we to talk?
this is true, but a turducken is awesome. A turducken is awesome. Uh,
I mean, not
let me
wrong.
ask you, how did you go about choosing your team at BUSD Buffet?
The team, like I said, with Gavin and I, we've been in communication for quite a while. He's been in the crypto space for quite some time. He's built up quite a few connections and part of a lot of communities. And he's got really good ideas on what can make a project successful and what could hurt it. David, who is handling our marketing and social media, he's been doing that for a while as well. He's actually got his own marketing company, um, and he was able to leverage some of that to help get us going. And we always make it very clear he's not received, like his company has not received a single penny from BBFT. Everything he's used his resources, but it's come out of his own pocket to get us going.
It's amazing.
Yeah, but we figured with those, that was a good start for us. We were able to uh, leverage all three of our strengths to get a project like off the ground, and then anything we need beyond that, we've got our marketing and development wallet that we can use to get some outside help if needed and do some bigger promotions and things like that.
Sounds good. That sounds really good. It definitely sounds like you guys leveraged the resources that were available to you and put together a good team that kind of covers all your bases.
Hmm.
Awesome. So, what do you think it's important for? We got a couple questions left. This is going to be the last serious one, but what do you think it's important for a new project to do to assure investors that it's legitimate with all the scams, rug pulls, honeypots that are out there?
To show your legitimacy, one is have a solid plan with what you're trying to do. That's first. Make sure that you can clearly articulate your idea and show how it's going to be a benefit. If you're looking to solve a problem, show how it effectively does that. And then, if you're that sure of it, put your name and your face behind it. We doxed pretty early on, and then we did AMAs early on. Make sure people are comfortable with you as a person and with your concept as a project, and that they're comfortable with both.
Yeah, I mean, me as an investor personally, when I'm looking into investing into a new project and I go on their website and I see that their team is just a bunch of avatars and stuff like that, that just completely turns me off to the project. I got to tell you.
Yeah. That's it. So that's kind of important to us. We docked really early on, and a few people told us, you don't have to do that yet. Like, why wouldn't you? Like,
Now let me ask you. This wasn't a scripted question, but I did want to ask you because I've been doing a couple videos with Y5's exchange because I was a day one investor with them, and I'm still invested with them. I've never sold anything with them, so it's exciting to kind of see everything kind of now starting to come to fruition that they had promised. Have you noticed any kind of uptick in volume the last couple days, or you think it's still too early to see anything with that?
no, yeah, we've definitely seen some uptick from that. It's twofold, I think. One, it's that it's another avenue to have people be able to purchase a token.
Right.
And again, having that choice instead of having to go through Pink Cell or having, you know what I mean? That's part of it. The other part is having other tokens, like, and not necessarily like bigger, but having the smaller tokens listed there. It's showing, again, this whole concept that's going on with crypto positive and DeFi and everybody working together. It's putting that into action. And so that's like, yeah, these two people or these groups are willing to come together, work together for the benefit of everybody. Other tokens that are on there as well, like I know Dive Wallet's on there currently. I haven't checked the list recently, but it's great for the space. So yeah, we've definitely seen some uptick from that.
Well, just yesterday they added the DFS Mafia and Ramatic EGC.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, DFS Mafia is cool. I don't know if you know anything about those guys, but they're kind of doing fantasy sports and crypto together,
Mm-hmm.
where you pay with like crypto
Yeah,
and get paid out. I think that's such an awesome idea.
yeah, that's I think it's cool.
Yeah, that's a really exciting one, and I think that can gain some real traction. I think that's it's a little bit of a niche. It's a little bit different. So this last question, I always end with this question here because I love seeing everybody's responses to this. So what here it comes. So which person, whether it's a fictional character, historical figure, celebrity, just it could be anything, who would you like to meet in the ring and fight right now? It could be anybody. It could even be a fictional character.
Interesting.
Whose ass would you like to kick?
See, that's one way of looking at it. The other way of looking at it is who would you want to fight to test your own skills
Well, that's
to
the
see how
other
you
one.
measure up.
That's the other one. The guys at Dive Wallet, Jake over there, wanted to fight Mike Tyson in his prime. So, I,
I don't know if I go that
yeah,
far.
I told you, he's kind of
No,
crazy for
that's
that one. But so, who would you like to meet in the ring, whether it be kick their ass or try to test your skills against them?
fictional. Gosh,
It could be anybody.
that's an interesting question. I don't really have an answer for it right now. Uh, hmm.
Well, who's somebody who's rubbed you the
You know
wrong
what?
way then recently? That you're like, you
You
know
see,
what? I
and
think get an ass whipping.
see, that's where I think I might be different from some folks because right now all the names running through my head are all people like who would I want to test myself against? Anybody that's wronged me, I usually get over that pretty quick.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking like Teddy Roosevelt types, like people that were able to like actually get out there and conquer the wilderness and things like that. How would I handle against someone like that?
Yeah. That's a good
That's
one.
where my mind went. Like how being somebody in this century that we live in with all the uh, processed foods and all that. How would I stack up against somebody who was out there like living like that? So
Living off the
I think
land. Yeah, yeah. Just tough
yeah,
guys. Like, men were men
yeah.
back then.
For better or worse, but yeah. So I think I'll just go with Teddy Roosevelt then, just to see how I would stack up against somebody who was out there, living that style, and how would I hold up against that?
Awesome. Well, that sounds good. I want to thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll get this video edited and I'll get it over to you for you to post into the group. I'm sure the group would have a good time with this and enjoy all the great answers you gave.
All right, thank you.
Awesome. Well, guys, there you have it. We got another interview down with Dirty Mike's Dirty Dozen. I want to thank Kevin here with BUSD Buffet for coming in to join us, and I wish you guys nothing but success in the future. And I know you guys are going to have it because you guys got a great team and a great project and great work ethic. And I wish you guys nothing but the best.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. I'll be back with another video shortly. Have a great day.